Good evening. My name is Grace Sinden, Ridgeview Circle, Princeton. My notes are a bit of a hash as a result of, I had very neatly typed notes. I can barely read them now, but I'll try. First of all, my background is as an environmental researcher at Princeton University, and then as a bureau chief at the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. I want to commend the Princeton Shade Tree Commission, its staff, as well as the Mayor and Council for proceeding with the very important tree protection ordinance at this public hearing. This ordinance has been a year or more in its formation with a lot of input and a lot of good thought that's gone into it. It's particularly critical because we need to lessen flooding, soil erosion. It's an energy conservation factor in both cold and heat, as well as improving air quality. And this is all aside from the aesthetic value of trees. Over the next few years, as has been discussed here, Princeton and other areas in the U.S. will be losing thousands of trees to the ash tree borer. There is already evidence of this insect's damage in Princeton, thus protecting our trees, and the tree canopy is more critical than ever. In my own experience, we have about eight ash trees on our property. For the last 2 years, the critical ones, the ones closest to the house that are very large, have been treated by soil injection with no evidence of the tree borer. So we might not have the problem. We got early treatment, and we will be we have a contract to continue that for the critical trees. The other trees we will allow nature to take care of. We are also losing, as others have mentioned, many trees to development and redevelopment, such as the tear-downs, with much larger structures and related impervious material taking their place. This exacerbates the flooding, which is already an increased public safety and health hazard with climate change. In addition, such larger housing structures also shut out people of moderate means. Another reason to control this increasing practice while preserving trees. On the issue of whether there's an amendment or an addition to the ordinance of allowing ash trees to be taken down, I'm wondering if we could, if the council and mayor can pass the ordinance as is tonight, since time is a big factor. And then if it's seen as necessary, have as an amendment or whatever legal instrument you see necessary done soon. But that you would avoid delaying the passage of the ordinance to have another public hearing. You would at least get the basics of this ordinance on the books. We've heard how many trees are being taken down. It's a rapid thing. The tear-down issue is proceeding very quickly. So I'm offering that as an idea which I would like you to address. Time is an issue. I would like to address the issue of other uses that people would like to use their land for that trees might prevent. Using the example of solar panels, removing trees to put solar panels on your house may mean that the house next door loses the shade and thus has to use more air conditioning. So it's not as simple as saying just what you want to do with your house. It's what might happen to the house next door, who maybe used minimal air conditioning and then suddenly has to use air conditioning all the time. So that's the other side of that coin. That's about as much of the notes, the scribbling, as I can read, so I'll leave it at that. But I do hope you pass the ordinance tonight and get on with it, and then discuss the amendment of what you do with diseased trees, whether it's ash trees or other kinds of trees. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Grace, could I ask you a quick question, Grace? Grace, right here, up here. Could I ask you a quick question? You said that you had
Where the
6
voice
ash
is coming
trees.
from.
6 ash trees on your property?
Yes.
8. 6, 8. You have 8.
Maybe more, but 8 that were clearly
And-
identified. I have a very heavily wooded lot.
So you're treating 2. You're trying to save 2.
We're treating 6.
Oh, you are treating 6.
6, yeah. And this was started before this was commonly discussed because we happen to have a good, wood riddance is a very good tree treatment.
You like pepper.
And it's not terribly expensive.
And would you, if you lose your ash trees, will you replace them with something?
Well, if you saw my lot, I mean, we live in a forest. we have a little clearing for our house. So the lot is 90% woods. So, and the trees are close together because this is not planted, nature planted them. It probably wouldn't be necessary, but if I had to, I would, But in my case, may not be as typical as somebody living on a 1/3 lot in a much more densely populated area. But if I had to do it, I would.
Thank you.